Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about a new text type. We're going to talk about editorials and how to read them, what to look for. But first, let's explain what an editorial is. An editorial comes from the word, if you look at the word, it comes from the word editor, which is the root word. An editor is someone who writes or edits things. And an editorial can present an opinion or a position of a specific publication. That publication might be a newspaper, a magazine, could even be an academic journal. The editorial presents an opinion of an individual who is often the editor of the publication. That's why it's called an editorial, but not always. The purpose of the editorial is one of four different possibilities. Might be to bring up a problem or something controversial, something that has completely different sides to it. It might be to influence public opinion, to promote critical thinking, to make you think, or it might be to cause you to take some kind of action on whatever the issue is that it is discussing. So what's in an editorial? First of all, an introduction, a body, a conclusion. So that is true of articles we've looked at up until now, but let's look at what's in the introduction, body, and conclusion. First of all, there's an objective explanation of the issue, especially if it's complex. It's timely. In other words, you're not going to read an editorial about something that's completely outdated and unimportant in the world. It doesn't make sense. It will always bring up the aspects of the opposing viewpoint, the opposite of what this particular editorial is about to tell you. And then it will bring in the author's viewpoint. In addition to that, you'll see some solutions or alternative interpretations of whatever the problem or issue is. And there's always a very strong conclusion that summarizes the writer's opinion, and we'll see what else it does in a minute. So, how do editorials begin? What is in that introduction? They usually begin with a very strong statement. And let's look at some examples. The scandal of schools failing the poorest pupils is being ignored by both main parties. Look at those strong words: scandal, failing, poorest pupils, ignored. Let's look at the next example. Plastic waste has gotten out of hand. Ban plastic foam takeout boxes. Out of hand. It's not in control anymore. To ban means to forbid. So you ban plastic foam. Those are strong words. Every morning I stand behind the metal detector searching students' bags as they enter school. You can imagine that this particular sentence probably has to do with guns in schools in the States or knives in schools. And the last one, my name is Rod J. Rorick, and I have become addicted to my iPhone. Yep, it makes you think. So, what type of information is included? Number one, there's some objective description of the issue. It answers the WH questions, including how, which has a W and an H in the wrong order, as you probably noticed. It answers what, where, when, why, who, how. It uses facts, examples, personal experience to illustrate and explain the issue. Here are some examples of information included. I have Pavlovian trained myself to immediately answer my email messages and texts. I've always provided my patients with my personal cell phone number and email so they could directly text or email me. Those are descriptive pieces of information. Now, usually it begins by giving you the opposing viewpoint, the opposite. So it'll use facts and examples and quotes of personal experience to present it. For example, constant and instant contact with the outside world is not only expected, it's demanded, especially in medicine. Now, you don't know necessarily that this is the opposite view until you hear the author's view, which he presents using his own facts and personal experience. This self-enforced iPhone detox was necessary. The next part of the article usually gives you solutions or alternative interpretations. So, for example, My vacation anecdote speaks to what I see as the answer. The Stanford marshmallow test exposed Americans to the mental and psychological implications of delayed gratification. Batista links the modern marshmallow addiction to early humans. Some steps I've taken and steps I've learned from others may help us all pass the marshmallow test. And how does it end? With a bang. Some kind of advice, or challenge, or a demand, or maybe a rhetorical question. These women show that if we wrap our arms around boys and girls of color, we will be marching in the right direction. Another strong statement. Whether machine learning creates the foe of dystopian vision of Terminator or a friend is largely up to us to decide. The third one. Good luck in your own personal battle to maintain a normal life and lifestyle. And the final one. The true reward will be greater efficiency, meaningful contact with those around us, and peace of mind. So, in short, this is what an editorial does and how it's built. And this lesson today, we are going to read an editorial. So, let's get on with it.